Hey there, everybody. Welcome to our evening edition of Big Brother 22 All-Stars live feed spoilers. We have just made it out of quite possibly the most thrilling episode of Big Brother 22 to date. This is the day of sarcasm, apparently, because it's the second video in a row we've done this.
Yeah, but it was fun to see the challenge.
Yeah.
And it was fun to see the different ways that people looked at it. Like, the way Enzo looked at that challenge, I see why he was doing what he was doing.
I think there's a fun sort of strategic angle that you can look at that stuff. The only thing that I could think of that whole time was like, this is really similar to BB Comics, and I feel like because we got this, we're not getting BB Comics this season.
Probably not.
Why aren't we getting BB? Maybe it's because I didn't want to build like whatever the zip line or whatever else they do with that. I don't know.
Yeah, it might be a big build, and it's probably Skeleton Crew because of what's going on. So,
Disappointed.
we got this.
This was.
We got the BB barbecue.
I at least enjoyed having them boo at people. That is the thing I feel like a lot of us have wanted to do at various times this season. They got to live. We got to live vicariously through them. There we go.
It was also fun seeing all the pictures of all the hot dogs and ice creams and stuff.
Maybe one hot dogs. But anyway, we'll talk more about the episode here and some other odds and ends on what may very well be Tyler's last night in Big Brother. But before we do, if you guys enjoy this video, subscribe, give us a like, hit that notification bell, and support us further. Check those links to the store as well as our Patreon.
So, besides watching what was the veto and something of all these pictures and sort of doing the whole, like, what's missing from this picture and what's changed in this picture, the big thing that we've taken away from this episode is that Memphis is in the dark. He does not realize that if somebody came off the block that he was going to be going up. He is clueless.
It surprised me, honestly. I know that we have the committee. I think the commission is his final two with Cody, which is also a silly name. But I just don't understand why. Maybe it's because Memphis had a final two with Dan and it worked so well that season. But you can't trust these people, Memphis. You should just have your final two or whatever it is with Christmas and just call that a day.
Yeah, and I know that there's the rumors of the pre-gaming, and maybe this is why Memphis is not thinking that Cody would ever take a shot at him. But Cody was going to take a shot at him if he had to. I mean, would Memphis have gone home? Maybe. It depends on who he was up against. But Memphis is not as solid as he thinks he is. I think that Cody is really looking to either take Enzo or Nicole. This is the trio.
Just the thing about pre-gaming. It's like, does it matter? Does it a disadvantage unfairly to certain people in the game? Absolutely.
Yes.
So you also are not signing your name in blood before the game that you are going to work with this person until the end. Like, you can renege on these deals, and I certainly think that there are cases in which that has happened in the past. I know it's definitely happened on Survivor. So if there is any sort of pre-gaming, Memphis, you're deluding yourself if you're comfortable because of that as well.
Oh, for sure. And that might be part of it because, I mean, Cody and Nicole have known each other before this game. They've played together, and clearly they are together in some sort of capacity. And the fact that Memphis is not seeing that, either it's because of the, allegations that there has been pre-gaming, and I say it that way because I wasn't there. I don't know what's been said, what hasn't been said, so I'm just calling it that as allegations that there are pre-gaming. But, I mean, there could be pre-gaming here as well with Nicole. They know each other. Like, I don't know.
We can all just get ourselves like tied in knots trying to think about everything that may or may not have happened before the game. But what matters right now is Memphis is in a little bit of trouble moving forward, and we'll get more to that, as we talk about the feeds. But the one thing that I was kind of surprised about with this episode is that they apparently decided to spin their own version of events here, where Nicole's opinion didn't seemingly factor into anything when it comes to Tyler being a target. Like, they really just forgot Nicole altogether on the show.
Yeah, I was kind of curious to see how they were going to put that in there, because she really was pushing for Tyler to go on the live feeds, and there wasn't a lot of anything going on here.
Like, yeah, I think that Cody wasn't thrilled that Tyler told Enzo about the committee, which, by the way, Was Enzo going for like a little bit of like a Dr. Will Light phone call on the being really serious about this information and then just getting back in his chair and cackling?
Yeah, a little bit.
Just a little bit. You gotta get the bring break thing going on here. You were not there fully, Enzo. I'm sorry, yo.
No, but this was a good episode for Enzo to sort of just get a little bit more of diary rooms and sort of that he knew that he was playing Tyler and Christmas. It was even interesting in that edit where it was kind of like, oh, they knew they had him. Enzo tried to like let them know that he was part of it. And then they showed the clip where Enzo didn't at all say, yes, I'm in with you guys. Not one time.
Big Brother's really giving Enzo a lot of credit for something he didn't even fully do.
No, but he did enough to make them want to do this and throw out that vote. This is a good move by Enzo.
Here's the thing
Even though I know not everybody liked it because everybody wants Nicole out, I still think it was a good move by him because now he's in this position. If he had... listen, we've been over that. I just feel like it was a good move because now Tyler and Christmas are on the block.
Here's what I don't like about Enzo in this episode. It's at the very end of it. And this pains me to say this. Enzo is just like, yo, I'm a ruthless player. I'm going to get rid of all these people. And it's going to...
Big move, Enzo.
Just stop it, Enzo. Big move. You can't do this anymore, yo. I like you. I'm probably rooting for you. But at this point... He's sort of like the guy who keeps promising he's going to bring home pizza, and instead he brings home like a cold slice of pizza because he ate the rest of it on the ride home.
It's still pizza, though.
It's just cold and not as satisfying. It's like, Enzo, you have the full pizza. You could give us the full pizza, but you're eating all of it. You're not giving us everything we want.
He is starting to give us more pizza. It is warm pizza now. It may not be piping hot with the melty cheese, but it's there. This was a better episode for Enzo. I see you don't believe me.
He's still pulling that cheese off the pizza and he's eating it.
You can see yourself out.
I'm going to go get some pizza after this is what I'm going to do. But where we are with the feeds here is Tyler, he's still in a really bad position. And it feels like instead of, and maybe he'll do more later, instead of like going to Nicole himself and being like, hey, I need to try to find a way to stick around here. I'll get you to write the foreword for Angela's cookbook, the softcover version. No, he hasn't figured out something with her. So instead, he's like going now to Cody and Enzo and being like, guys, you gotta talk to Nicole. You gotta see what's going on. I can't do the Tyler voice very much.
And I can kind of understand where Tyler's coming from. He has tried to have some talks with Nicole, and he isn't getting anywhere. She's basically kind of just, fluffing it off to kind of be like, if you can get them to, come around, then sure, we'll talk about it. And so... she keeps putting it on them. They keep putting it sort of on her, and it's just going around in this circle where Tyler's finally got to a point that he needs to talk to Cody to be like, listen, you guys need to come together. It's almost like, and I don't know if this would work, that Tyler needs to get them all in a room together and be like, are you helping me or not? Like, are we all together or not?
I think Tyler is feeling something right now that a lot of, less quality Big Brother players have felt over the years, which is that feeling of nobody's giving me all the information. I just want to get people together to get the real information and see exactly what happens with it. Like, there's stuff like this earlier this season. There's been stuff like this in years past as well. And Tyler, he's usually the person who was being like, I don't know what we're going to do. And now he has to live with what the other side of that is.
Yeah, he does.
It's not good and it's rough, but there's got to be probably something more that he could say to Nicole that doesn't require this,
yeah,
but
that's
hard.
Sort of where he is now. This really all lands on Nicole, and if he can't get her to turn, it's over. And it's Wednesday night. Like, he doesn't have enough time, I don't feel, anymore.
And there's no guarantee where even if Nicole is on board with it all of a sudden, that for sure Enzo and Cody will be. Like, they've talked about being on the fence with it, but it's like right now the bigger debate seems to be, are we going to tell Tyler before eviction night or are we not?
Yep. And the other thing that Tyler is facing right now is that he feels that Christmas is limiting his time with people, because it seems like wherever Tyler is and whoever he's talking to, Christmas is showing up. Now, I don't know if this is just she's clueless on what's happening or if this is some sort of strategic move, but if this is a strategic move, it is a really good move.
I don't want to give Christmas the benefit of the doubt.
Well, that's why I said if.
Yeah, I know. I think Christmas is just bored, and I think she's just sort of wandering around the house, irritating people. Tyler's getting super irritated about all of it. He doesn't feel like he's getting a lot of time with people. Well, unfortunately, Tyler, I think you're probably going to have time tomorrow when Cody tells you before the eviction that he's getting rid of you, or that people are.
Oh.
It's interesting. I don't like saying it. It's like, I don't know why Nicole is just like, let's just let him be blindsided. It's like, how is that going to be good for you?
Yeah, I also just don't think he is going to be blindsided.
No,
I think he knows if Nicole's giving him the runaround, be like, oh, go ask Enzo, and Enzo's, oh, go ask Nicole, then that means no, you're not staying. And Memphis has already said no, so it's over.
Here's the thing that's very fascinating to me about the feeds right now, is that we've seen Memphis talk with Enzo about potentially targeting Nicole sooner rather than later, because obviously Memphis does not want to get rid of Christmas. It's one of the wise guys. It's someone who he could probably beat at the end. But Enzo has now gone and run some of this information back to Cody and sort of throwing Memphis under the bus. I'm just kind of curious. Why would Enzo do this? Because I think Enzo can beat Memphis at the end, and Enzo and Memphis, they do have sort of a final two here.
Yeah, he does. He's got a final two with Cody. He's got a final two with Memphis. He has nothing with Nicole. And so if they do, and if he ends up in a situation where it's like the final three sort of thing and Nicole is choosing, she may choose Enzo to go, maybe. She doesn't really have any sort of final two with him, and she is closer with Cody. Does she think she can beat either of them? I don't know. But I think if he's at the end, I think if he just cuts Cody and takes Nicole, Enzo wins. And I think Enzo might think maybe he can't beat Memphis.
I'm going to pull out a fan fiction pin here, because I just came up with a real yarn I'm about to spin on the video.
Have it.
Here is Enzo. Yo, you know what? I ain't going to win the next HOH. That's it. I don't need to win it. Yo, I'm safe.
He does need to win
I don't need... this might be Enzo's brain here. And he's like, yo, you know what? If I don't win it, it doesn't matter if I want to target Memphis or not, because Cody, he can't play either, yo, so we're not going to have to be responsible. Yo, we're setting this up to ensure that Memphis is the target at Final Four. Yo, could this be what is going on here?
Could be.
I'm not saying this is 100% fan fiction. I think there's at least a chance of this.
There's a chance.
If Enzo decides he does want to throw this HOH. I understand. You do kind of want to win everything at this point in the game.
Yeah, you really do. I mean, he is in a good spot, but if he is at the end with Memphis, who's won a bunch of HOHs, and Cody, who has won a bunch of HOHs, and Enzo has won one HOH where he didn't really do anything big or noteworthy, he needs to win another HOH and take out somebody, anybody that's left at this point.
Speaking of that HOH, doesn't seem to be a lot of noise going on in the backyard for the house guests there, so that suggests probably not an enormous build.
Maybe the slip and slide.
Maybe, well, okay, see, like we said, it doesn't have to be the biggest build of all time for the slip and slide.
Just put out some Crisco, as you say, and have at it, and some jugs. I mean, it doesn't have to be that big.
You can get a tart probably at Walmart for like, I don't know, like $40 or something. I think production can afford that.
I think so.
And all you got to do is just like put somebody in a weird costume, like put like one of the crew members up there, and they can be like the magical host for the competition.
Oh, slip and slide.
Listen, we need entertainment. This is my one fear, though, that we're not going to get this slip and slide.
I don't think we're getting it.
I was optimistic, but then at the end of the episode, I could be wrong, and correct me if I'm wrong, it didn't sound like they said that the episode was going to be live. And if it's not going to be live, that means there's probably not going to be an HOH after the fact. I think they're going to do That whole thing we all hate where they do like part of the competition and then they withhold the rest of it from the feeds.
Yep.
What, Big Brother, we have already not had nice things for the better part of this season. We have had a extremely predictable, why can't we have the slip and slide?
I know. At least we will be able to find out, of course, who won the HOH before the episode, and we will have that for you here.
I really hope so. I hope they don't do the thing where they just like start it and then they like cut it off and then they make us wait until Sunday.
They're not going to hold out the feeds until Sunday.
No, they're not going to.
Somebody will be walking around with the key. We will figure it out.
We will. I know. This game's got me so flustered at this point, but we will all get through this together. I'm just sad because I don't want Tyler to go for Christmas.
I agree. It really sucks. You're not getting your Battle of the Bros, and we got Christmas.
I'm not getting more pizza because Enzo is keeping it from me.
Okay, listen, it's almost your birthday. You will have pizza on your birthday. It'll all be happening.
Only other thing I gotta say here tonight. Cody and Enzo both talked about whether or not they have a final two with Memphis, and they both kind of lied to each other. It's like, you guys have told each other everything else, but Memphis final twos is apparently where you're drawing the line.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of understand why they're not going to say that, because then both of them will have to go after Memphis or go after each other, or then they'd be maybe feeling like, hey, I thought you and I were final two, but now you're Memphis?
Maybe we'll get some...
How could you?
It'd be great if we got some bro tears out of all of this. It's like, we have really we've been dealt a real absence of drama. I hope we get some tomorrow night. Let's remind everybody once again, Christmas made it clear that tomorrow is a very important day for her on the show.
We know. It's her child's birthday.
Yeah, she's already putting it out there, so it's going to be fun. Well, okay, what do you guys think is going to happen tomorrow? What do you want Tyler to do? Let us know in the comments. If you do like this video, give us a like, subscribe, support us further, check those links to the store, our Patreon, and we'll see you here next time.